Gerin the Fox eyed the new logs in the palisade of Fox Keep. Even after 5 years weathering, they were easy to pick out, for they'd never been painted with the greenish glop the wizard Siglaurel had concocted to keep Balamung the Trochme mage from burning the keep around him. The stuff had worked too, but Balamung had slain Siglaurel even so. Gerin knew something of magecraft himself, but he'd never been able to match Siglaurel's formulation. In front of those new logs, a handful of the fox's retainers sat on their haunches in a circle. Gerin's 4-year-old son Doran ran from one of them to the next, exclaiming,
"Can I roll the dice? Will you let me roll them now?"
Drago the bear held the carved cubes of bone. Rumbling laughter, he handed them to Doran, who threw them down in the middle of the gamblers' circle.
"Oh, 12!
No one can beat that," Drago said. He scooped up his winnings, then glanced toward Gerin.
"The boy brings luck, Lord."
"Glad to hear it," Gerin answered shortly. Whenever he looked at his son, he couldn't help thinking of the boy's mother. When he'd wed Elise, he'd been sure the gods had granted him everlasting bliss. He had thought so right up to the day, 3 years ago now, when she'd run off with a travelling horse leech. Only the gods knew where in the shattered Northlands she was these days, or how she fared. The fox kicked at the dirt. Maybe if he had noticed she wasn't happy, he could have done things to make her so. Or maybe she'd just tired of him. Women did that, and men too. "The great god Deus knows it's too late to do anything about it now," he muttered.
"Too late to do anything about what, Captain?"
Van of the Strong Arm boomed as he came out of the stables. The Outlander overtopped Gerin's 6 feet by as many inches, and was nearly twice as thick through the shoulders too. The red-dyed horsehair plume that nodded above his helmet only made him seem taller. As usual, he kept his bronze corselet polished almost to mirror brilliance.
"Years too late for us to do anything about getting Imperial troopers up here,"
Gerin answered. He was the sort who guarded private thoughts even from his closest friends. Van spat on the ground.
"That for Imperial troopers? It was too late for those buggers 5 years ago, when the carrion stinking Empire of Elabon shut all the passes into the north sooner than help us keep the Trochmoy out."
"Deus knows we could have used the Imperials then," Gerin said. "We could use them still, if only they'd come, and if
they'd keep their hands off what's yours,"
Van finished for him. "Well, yes, there is that," Gerin admitted. He was given to understatement. Van wasn't. He snorted, back deep in his throat.
"Huh, there is that," he says. "You think the Emperor of Elabon would be happy with the title you've gone and taken for yourself? You know what he'd do if he ever got his hands on somebody who styled himself the Prince of the North, don't you? He'd nail you to the cross, so the ravens could sit on your shoulders and pick out your eyes. That's what."